So you have an op-amp with a negative feedback, right? And negative feedback at the inverting terminal. So it's an inverting amplifier. A is equal to 10 power 4. Okay, RID. We take the same numbers, 100K. R naught is equal to 1 kilo. Okay. Now let's draw the block diagram. I am sure all of you will know how to draw the block diagram. You please draw it along with me and then verify once done. Okay, draw it along with me. Open loop block diagram of the op-amp. Okay. So we know op-amp is a voltage amplifier, right? So now, first initially you will have Vs. Initially you will have Vs. So Vs is connected to 1 kilo ohm here, right? So Vs is connected to 1 kilo ohm. That in turn is connected to the op-amp. So RID is given as 100K. So RID here is given as 100K. So whatever voltage is present across this is the one that is getting amplified. So op-amp is a voltage amplifier. Here it is inverting. So you understand now why I wrote a minus on top and why I wrote a plus here, because this is an inverting amplifier, right? So this will be 10 power 4 times Vi, because A is 10 power 4. Okay. And then R naught here. R naught is 1 kilo ohm. This is RID. So this is RID. RI. Okay, so this is R naught, which is 1 kilo ohm. Okay, and then you will have a 2 kilo ohm resistance here, across which you are taking the output. And this is also connected to ground. No, all these are connected to ground. This is also connected to ground. Okay, so now this is the op-amp, right? Okay, so just a minute. Let me just erase this and write it down so that it's easier. I'll write it to the side here so that it's much easier. So this will be 1 kilo ohm. This is R naught. Okay, so this is the op-amp, right? Okay, so now we also have this feedback resistor that is connected between the input and the output. Let me just mark it up in a different color. Okay, so now you have a resistor here which is connected in between the input and output. This is 1 mega ohm. Is this clear to all of you? Any doubts in this? Any doubts in the block diagram? So first we draw an open loop amplifier of the op-amp, and then we connected a feedback resistor across it, similar to the way it's connected in the inverting amplifier. Okay, what are we supposed to do next? What did we do next? So now we are supposed to find out, okay, how does this feedback resistor affect the output side of the op-amp as well as the input side of the op-amp? Correct? So that's what we are supposed to find out next. So now, if I just separate the feedback part from the amplifier, it looks something like this. No, you have a 1 mega ohm resistor here. So this is the output side and this is the input side. And then you have ground here, because here one end of the output is also grounded, one end of the input is also grounded. So therefore I'm connecting that to a common ground. So now if I have to find out what effect this 1 mega ohm resistor has on the output side, then what do I do? Since this 1 mega ohm is feeding the input side in parallel, right? Because this is a, okay, let me write that also. This is a voltage shunt feedback, as we have seen earlier in our classes. This is a voltage shunt feedback. Why is it an voltage shunt feedback? Because we are sampling the output voltage and then feeding it back in the form of current, right? Therefore, it's a voltage shunt feedback. Since current is fed back as shunt at the input, so how do we calculate what is the effect of this feedback resistance on the output side of the amplifier? We short the input, right? We give some voltage Vx here, okay, and try to find out what is the current Ix. So then Rx, which is the effective resistance on the output side of the op-amp due to the feedback resistor, is calculated as Vx by Ix. Correct? Now, how much do you think it is? Can you reply in the chat box? What's Rx? So what's the effective resistance seen from the output side due to this feedback resistor 1 mega ohm?
1 mega only.
Yeah, 1 mega ohm only, right? Is this clear? Vx by Ix is nothing but 1 mega ohm. So whatever current is there, it goes through this 1 mega ohm, right? Are all of you clear with this? So this is the effective resistance seen at the output side. Now similarly, can you tell me, this is on the output side, okay? This is on the output side. Now similarly, can you tell me what's on the input side? What should you do to find out what is the resistance seen due to the feedback resistor on the input side? What should you do? So you have 1 mega ohm here, correct? And then both input and output are grounded. So now you're sampling the output voltage. So whenever an voltage is sampled, it is always done in shunt. So therefore, since the voltage is sampled in shunt, you short the resistance here. In order to find the effective resistance of it on the input side, you apply a small voltage Vy here and then calculate Iy. So now you get Ry is equal to Vy by Iy, which is again 1 mega ohm. Correct? So the impedance seen from the input as well as the output side due to the feedback resistance is itself. Is this clear to all of you? Is this clear to all of you? Okay, let's continue now. I have a question to ask you now. See now, what kind of an amplifier is this? This is an inverting amplifier, right? Correct? Which means the closed loop gain here will be how much? Will it be positive or negative? Will V naught be negative with respect to Vs or positive?
Negative.
Negative, right? So when you try to find out even the open loop gain V naught by Vs, it will be negative because here the input is given to the inverting terminal, which means when you try to find out the value of AV, when you try to find out the value of AV, you will get AV to be equal to a negative value. Correct? So does that mean you will get AV into beta also negative? Do you get AV into beta also negative? Can you think about it? What happens if you get AV into beta negative?
Gain will
So,
increase.
yeah, correct, right? So when you get AV into beta negative, see, you want AF to be of the form AV by 1 plus AV into beta. So if this term is negative, then it will look as if you're giving a positive feedback, right? We've seen this earlier. When the denominator is 1 minus A beta, it doesn't tell you anything, but you're giving a positive feedback and not a negative feedback. But that cannot happen because here we are giving a negative feedback. Correct? So one catch here is whenever you have AV negative, your beta will also be negative. Your beta will also be negative. So therefore AV into beta will not be negative. AV into beta should always be positive for a negative feedback. Right? AV into beta can never be negative. AV can be negative. If AV is negative, then beta will also be negative so that AV into beta is positive. Because if AV into beta is negative, then it just depicts that your feedback is positive and it's not negative, and which is not true. Right? So this is one thing you should keep in your mind. So whenever you're solving a problem, if you get AV negative and beta positive, it's 100% incorrect. Whenever you're solving such problems, if you get AV positive and beta negative, that is also 100% incorrect. You have to go back and check because your AV into beta should always be positive. Is it clear to all of you? This concept, whatever we did now, is very important. Okay? Okay, we'll go ahead now. We have to find out beta, no? We have to find out beta. So how do we find out beta? So you have 1 mega ohm here, correct? So you have the output voltage here, and then you will have to find out what is the current flowing through this feedback resistor IF, right? Your IF by V naught will give you the value of beta, correct? Because this is voltage shunt, no? IF by V naught will give you the value of beta. Clear? Now if you see, IF is in this direction, correct? IF is in this direction actually, because you're giving the voltage V naught here and you're trying to find out what is the current IF due to it. But now look at this. So due to this voltage Vs, you will have some current Is, correct? This current Is should actually be equal to IF plus II, correct? So now look at the directions of this IF and this IF. Are they opposite? Or are they in the same direction? We're just trying to compare these two circuits, okay? So now in the actual circuit, you have some current Is flowing. Since this is a voltage shunt, you're feeding back current, which means you should be able to express Is is equal to IF plus II, right? So if I have to do that, then there's a current Is here, which splits into two here, right? A part of it is flowing up and a part of it is flowing through Ri. Therefore, I can write Is is equal to IF plus II. But when I detach this feedback network from the open loop, and I try to find out beta, then how will I find out? I ground this, I give some voltage V naught here, and try to find the feedback current IF due to this. So IF by V naught should give me beta, correct? Now look at the current directions here. So here IF is going from my right to left, whereas here IF is going from left to right, which means the directions of IF here are opposite. That means that beta is negative. Is this clear to all of you? AV and beta, one cannot be positive and one cannot be negative. Then the product of AV into beta will be negative. Okay, Aditya P. Patel. So if one of it is positive, one is negative, then the product is negative always, right? Which means in the denominator now you'll have 1 minus AV beta, no, instead of 1 plus AV beta. You'll have a negative sign here. If you have a negative sign here, that means you're giving a positive feedback in the system. It will behave like an oscillator. So therefore, AV and beta cannot take opposite signs at all. Okay. If AV is positive, beta also must be positive. If AV is negative, beta also must be negative, so that AV beta is always positive. Is it clear to you now?
Yes.
Okay. So now all of you understood how I got beta negative, right? Any doubts in that? Do you have any doubts here in this? Understanding how beta is negative? Anup, can you calculate and tell me the value of beta here?
Okay, I'll try.
Yes. What is, I mean, it's very simple, no? IF by V naught. What is V naught by IF? Take reciprocal of that. That's it, no?
It's 10 power minus 6, ma'am. Minus 10 power minus 6.
Correct. So beta is V naught by IF inverse, correct, which is minus 10 power minus 6, 1 by 1 mega. Right? Why minus sign? Because we know the two currents are in the opposite direction. Is it clear to all of you? So I can write beta is equal to minus 10 power minus 6. Will you have any units here? Obviously, you can have ohm inverse, or you can also have the unit of transconductance. Now with this, let's try to redraw the circuit again. So now let's try to represent, when we are redrawing, we'll try to represent this voltage source in series with this resistor as a current source in parallel with this resistor, because it's easier for us to find out the trans resistance gain, right? I'll just use a different color. Okay. So now your circuit will look something like this, no? You have IS, correct. We're just replacing Vs in series with 1 kilo ohm with Is in parallel with 1 kilo ohm, correct? And then you will have a 100 kilo ohm here. Okay. So now, since this is an op amp, you'll have a Vi here, and that gets amplified. And this is a inverting, therefore amplified. Therefore, you'll have a negative on top and positive here. So this will be 10 power 4 times Vi. R naught will be as it is, 1 kilo ohm. And then you will have a 2 kilo ohm resistance here, across which you're taking V naught, correct? So I'll just connect this and then ground it here. So now the impedance seen through the output side is 1 mega ohm, right? Therefore, I can represent it this way. This will be 1 mega ohm, correct? So now the impedance seen through these 2 points will be 1 mega ohm. See, you can see here, that is the this is the output point, right? This is the output point, and this is the also the output point that is grounded, correct? So the impedance seen between these 2 points is 1 mega ohm, and that's what I have written here. I hope this is clear, right? So now you're feeding this in the form of a current, which is nothing but beta V naught, where V naught is this voltage, correct? And why have I written the current direction opposite as in upwards here? You know why? Because beta, we got it as negative due to the opposite signs of the current here. And what is the impedance seen through the input side? Again, we saw the impedance seen through these 2 points, that is between the input point and the ground, is again 1 mega ohm, right? So this is again 1 mega ohm, and this 1 mega ohm, it goes here, because current is always fed back in shunt. Is this clear? I've just redrawn it, including, by taking off the feedback resistance, and then here I have shown what is the impedance seen from the input side and the output side due to feedback resistance along with beta. Okay, this is what we did even in the previous program, previous problem. And now we'll try to push off all these resistors onto the amplifier, and now we'll try to make the feedback network free of any resistors, right? So now if I have to push, this resistance onto the input side, then I'll disconnect the resistance from here, and then I'll connect a 1 mega ohm resistance between these 2 points. Similarly, I'll push this also back to the input side, which means that here I'll have to connect a resistance of 1 mega ohm here. So this is basically 1 mega ohm, and then I'll disconnect it from here. Basically, I'm trying to push all the loading onto the amplifier and I'm making the beta network free. By doing this, I have now made the beta network free of any loading effect. Now what I will do, since I already know beta, I'll calculate now what is the open loop gain, V0 by IS. So with that, I'll get what is A beta. Then I'll know if I calculate all the open loop parameters, with that I can calculate all the closed loop parameters either by multiplying that with 1 plus A beta or by dividing that with 1 plus A beta. Is it clear for the rest of you also? Only Chetan replied. Okay. So now let's draw the open loop op amp again. So you have IS here, correct? And then you have 1 kilo ohm. And then 1 mega ohm due to the feedback resistor here. And then you have 100 kilo ohm here. So VI, let VI be the voltage across it. So then here you have a 10 power 4 VI. So 1 kilo ohm here, which is the output impedance. Correct? And then you again have a 1 mega ohm here. Okay? And then you have a load here, 2 kilo ohms. So now this is V0. This is the point at which you're taking V0. Correct? So now you have to find out what is V0 by IS. So now you have to find out what is V0 by IS. That will be your open loop gain AV. How will you find that? First, you find out what is VI by IS. Okay. So once you get that, you multiply that by 10 power 4. And then you find out what is V0 by VI. So then you get, sorry, this is 10 power 4 VI. Okay. So then you get what is V0 by IS. Correct? So now let's do it step by step. Now can you find out what is V0 by IS and tell me? Sorry, find out what is VI by IS and tell me. You have to find out what is VI by IS. To find out what part of IS is flowing through this 100K and multiply that by 100K. That will give you VI by IS. Clear? What part of IS is flowing through this 100K? So 1 kilo ohm in parallel with 1 mega ohm is almost around 999 ohms, right? So now it looks like you have 999 ohm in parallel with 100 kilo ohm. Now you find out what part of IS is flowing through this 100 kilo ohm and then multiply that by 100 kilo ohm to get VI by IS.
And simply we can take parallel combination of all three resistors.
Yes, definitely that will also work. VI by IS is nothing but the input impedance, right? You can simply take the parallel combination of all these three resistors. That will work too. That's absolutely correct. So can you tell me how much is that? VI by IS?
989 ohms.
Okay. So VI by IS is 989 ohms. So if you do it either ways, you will end up getting the same answer. Right? So you will end up getting the same answer. This I can write this as VI is equal to 989 times IS. So now this is getting amplified by a factor of 10 power 4, right? So at this point, I've just started it. So at this point where I've started, I'll get an voltage equal to 10 power 4 times 989 IS, correct? And now this voltage gets distributed between 1 kilo ohm and a parallel combination of 1 mega ohm and 2 kilo ohms, right? This voltage now, okay, let me call this as some VZ, okay? So this is VZ. So now the voltage VZ here will get distributed between 1 kilo ohm and the parallel combination of 1 mega ohm and 2 kilo ohm, right? Can you tell me how much that is? So this is a negative here, right? Because it's inverting. So approximately if you take 2 kilo ohm parallel with 1 mega ohm as 2 kilo ohm itself, so then V0 by IS will be equal to 989 into 10 power minus 4, of course with a negative sign, not minus 4, plus 4. Okay. Into voltage divider is nothing but 2 by 3, right? 2 kilo by 2 kilo plus 1 kilo. Assuming that 1 mega ohm is too large and 1 mega ohm in parallel with 2 kilo ohm is approximately 2 kilo ohm. With that approximation, you get V0 by VIS is equal to this much. So how much will this come up to?
Minus 659.33 into 10 power 4.
Yeah, so that's approximately 6.59 mega ohms, right? V0 by IS minus 6.59 mega ohms. This will be the open loop gain. Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now similarly, I mean, if you want to calculate V0 by Vs, can you tell me how much that will be? See, Vs is nothing but Is into Rs, right? So how much will be V0 by Vs? So what is acting as Rs here? 1 kilo ohm is acting as Rs. So therefore you divide both numerator and denominator by 1 kilo ohm. I can write V0 by Vs is equal to V0 by Is into Rs is nothing but here 1 kilo ohm is acting as Rs, right? So I divide V0 by Vs by 1 kilo ohm. So therefore I divide my RHS also by 1 kilo ohm. So my V0 by Vs will now be minus 6.593. Okay. So now let's look at this only. Now this is what we are worried about, right? Because we want what is V naught by IS, not V naught by VS currently, in order to calculate input impedance and all that, right? Correct? So this is the open loop gain V naught by VS. So this is V naught by IS open loop again. See, both are open loop. These are not closed loop gains. I hope you are able to make out the difference, correct? These are not closed loop gains. These are open loop gains, both of them. I hope you're able to make out the difference. We have still not calculated the closed loop gain, right? So now this is what you have to consider as AV, right? So now you know what is beta. You know what is AV. Now calculate what is 1 plus A beta. Calculate what is 1 plus A beta now. So that will be 1 plus minus 6.59 mega into minus 10 power minus 6, right? How much is that? Are all of you with me?
Yes, ma'am. 7.59.
Okay. So now this will be equal to 7.59. Now let's calculate what is V naught by IS closed loop. Closed loop. How will you do that? It will be AV by 1 plus AV beta, right? How much is it?
Minus 0.868 mega.
Okay, minus 868.3 K. Correct? So this will be closed loop. Similarly, now can you calculate what is V naught by VS closed loop? This is V naught by Vs open loop divided by 1 plus. Okay, can you try to do it yourself? Correct? So which will be around minus 868.3. Is this clear? Now you can take a look at this. Now, in an ideal case, for this amplifier, if you calculate what is the closed loop gain V naught by Vs, just by applying the formula that we had derived earlier. In an ideal case, when A is infinite, input impedance is infinite, output impedance is 0. In that case, then the gain will be simply minus R2 by R1, right? It will be minus 1 mega by 1 kilo, which is 1000, minus 1000. That will be the closed loop gain. But now look at this. Due to the loading, the closed loop gain V naught by Vs has decreased. So therefore, our calculations, I mean, this is just a cross check, right? Is this clear to all of you? See, I just calculated this voltage gain V naught by Vs because we have been doing this since our op-amps, right? So voltage gain is the most, I mean, it's one of the very important parameters of an op-amp, closed loop voltage gain, that we have derived for all ideal parameters earlier. Now we are seeing how this gain will behave. Will it reduce or decrease due to loading? And now we have seen that due to loading, that is due to finite input impedance and finite output impedance, the closed loop gain has decreased here. which is minus 868.3, which otherwise in an ideal case would have been minus 1000. Right? Is it clear so far? Now, can you all please reply in the chat box? I don't know if you're able to understand or not. Are you all understanding?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so you have to be really very careful with the open loop gain and closed loop gain, okay? Don't get confused and don't mess them up. Clear? Okay. So now let's calculate what are the input and the output impedances. So we'll calculate the input impedance by taking into account with 1 kilo ohm also, right? So now here we have already calculated the input impedance. Do you see? Vn by Is itself is the input impedance of this open loop input impedance. Open loop input impedance of the amplifier we have already calculated to be 989 ohms, which is Vi by Is. So now 989 ohms. Okay. So now how will you calculate the closed loop input impedance? What should you do? Should you divide it by 1 plus A beta or should you multiply that by 1 plus A beta?
Both divide only.
Divide. Correct. So now RIF will be how much? How much will be RIF?
$30.
Okay, so this will be around 130 ohms. Okay, so now what will be ROF? In order to find out ROF, first you have to calculate what is the open loop output impedance. So in order to calculate the open loop output impedance, what do? You open circuit this, correct? If this is open circuited, then the voltage drop across this is 0, right? So therefore this will also be 0. This will look like it is shorted here. So now what you do? You apply a small voltage Vx here and then try to find out what is Ix. Vx by Ix will give you the open loop output impedance. Correct? So now can you tell me what's the open loop output impedance?
666 ohms.
So that is nothing but you can see here. From this point 2K is going to ground. From the same point 1 mega ohm is going to ground. From the same point 1 kilo ohm is also going to ground. So therefore all these three resistances, they are coming in parallel. So therefore that will be 666 ohms. Okay. That will be the open loop output impedance. Now ROF will be nothing but RO divided by 1 plus A beta. Correct? How much will that be?
$87.7.
Okay. Around 87 ohms. Okay. So now suppose say if we consider 1K as the source resistance. Okay, if we consider 1K as the source resistance, then when we are trying to find out the actual input impedance, we should not take that into consideration, right? Suppose now if we consider this 1K as the source resistance, Then while finding out the actual input impedance RIF, we shouldn't take that into consideration. But here in this case, we have already taken that into consideration. So now can you tell me what is RIF actual without considering 1K? Should you just directly subtract it? Will that work? How should you do this? So this 1K is connected in parallel with the rest of the resistors here, right? So now you got RIF as 130 ohms. So from this, you should remove a parallel combination of 1K. Right? How will you do that? Because 1K is connected in parallel at the input, from this 130 ohms, you should remove a parallel combination of 1K. Right? How do you do that? One by RIF minus 1 by RS, which is 1K, will give you the RIF actual. Okay, so this will be around 150 ohms. Similarly, at the output, you have considered even 2 kilo ohm resistors while calculating the output impedance. Therefore, now you have to do what is ROF actual. Okay. As in, from whatever output impedance you have calculated, from that, you should remove a parallel combination of 2K. Do that and tell me how much do you get.
Ma'am, my doubt is why we need to consider VO by IS specifically for finding out the beta factor and not V naught by VS.
That's because what is the kind of feedback here? Voltage shunt, no? So we have identified the kind of feedback as voltage shunt here, which means the output is sampled as voltage while what you're feeding back is current. So therefore, you should consider V naught by IS only here. It depends on the kind of feedback that you identify and not the kind of amplifier an op-amp is. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
So whatever open loop gain AV that you have to calculate here depends on what kind of feedback you identify. That's important. So we'll just summarize what we did so far. So now initially we started off with an inverting amplifier. So we identified the kind of feedback. So the kind of feedback was voltage shunt, wherein you're sampling the voltage at the output and then you're feeding back current at the input, and both are done in shunt. Correct? So we also identified what is the feedback resistor. The feedback resistor here is 1 mega ohm, right? So then we saw what impact it has on the input side of the open loop amplifier and on the output side of the open loop amplifier. And then we replaced this feedback resistors with its equivalent on both the input and the output side of the open loop amplifier. Basically, we tried to put all the loading effect that is present in the beta network, that's the feedback network, onto the amplifier. And we also saw what is the beta of the network. So here we got the beta of the network to be negative, which is correct, because here V0 by Is is also negative because input here is given to the inverting terminal, which means both AV is negative as well as beta is also negative, which makes A beta positive. So A beta, you should always make sure that it's positive for a negative feedback. Because if A beta is negative, that indicates a positive feedback, which is not correct, right? So then we calculated the open loop gain V0 by Is, which was negative. And then we multiplied that by beta. AV into beta was positive. So we calculated what is 1 plus AV into beta because we need it for calculating all the closed loop parameters. Okay. And then based on this, after calculating 1 plus AV into beta, from the open loop gain, we are able to calculate the closed loop gain using AV by 1 plus AV beta. We calculated the open loop input impedance. From that, we calculated the closed loop input impedance by open loop input impedance divided by 1 plus A beta. Similarly, we calculated the open loop output impedance, and then we got the closed loop output impedance as open loop in output impedance divided by 1 plus A beta. But now this RIF and ROF, it includes the source resistance as well as the load resistance. Now our next job is to remove this parallel combination of the source and the load resistors, right? So therefore, we removed it and then we got the actual input and the output, closed loop input and the output impedances. So that's all we have done in this problem. Okay, so these are the two kinds of problems that you can expect in your exams. One is voltage series feedback and the voltage shunt feedback. That's what you have in your syllabus. Okay, so we'll stop the class here.